And this is going to bump up the rankings a little bit, have ourselves a wee bit of a higher fight. And this 1v1 ladder is going down on a map known as, never seen it before, Standing Stones. Probably because there's some standing stones in the middle. At a wild guess. Just as an if but maybe. Watch, are they even reclaimable? Yeah, these ones are. These ones aren't. Can you imagine how much mass would be in those if we could reclaim them? Huge! Anyway, let's have an introduction of our players. We're just going to do our standard sorting. And over on the left hand side, in the blue corner, as Cybran, it is Kelly. Kelly's working on their first land factory. Got an air factory planned already, so that is like land, probably a whole bunch of pigeons, a couple of mixes, and then more pigeons into the air factory. And their opponents there over in the red corner is Seraphim, it is Daps. Daps is doing a very similar thing. There is the first land factory, a bunch of pigeons, and an air factory with a couple of mixes put in there somewhere. Kelly's been having a bad streak apparently, as I am a fucking noob, I cannot win. It is actually named for the reason that you were supposed to play the map while standing and smoking weed. Okay. I know. There is one single hydra on this map and it's right in the middle. Amidst all the 1600 reclaim. Oh my god, there's like virtually no reclaim. These guys are going to be fighting for territory rather than to get mixes, rather than to get the mass sitting on the ground. Interesting slight differential. A lot of maps have a lot of reclaim to grab, but not at this stage. Anyway, expansionistic so far. We have a couple of NGs on the way out. We've got one there from Kelly moving out to grab a Maxis. One grabbed a couple of rocks along the way. It's going to move on to the mass extractor as well. Second engineer popping on out, and the first combat unit is a Mantis. It's going to go, and whether it's going to be offensive or defensive, we do not know. But do we have any combat units out here? Yes, we do. There's a Tham, and there is a Selene joining up to Tham. So Selenes are that in-between units. They're a scout, but they're also a lab. They're not as good as a lab, but as a scout, they've got better combat capability. So, yeah, they're a mixed unit. They've got good range though, and they can actually, if you can keep them at range, they will beat other labs because they can fire a long way. If we have a look, actually, that's the range of a tank. That's the range of a scout. It actually looks like it's just a little bit more. Let's see, range 0 to 19, range 0 to 18. It is indeed. So the scout, Selene. There's no E on that. It's a Selene. Fuck me. It actually has longer range than a T1 tank, so it can pick them off at distance. You go 18 for the Mantis as well, so indeed actually outranges T1 tanks. So Selenes can be nasty if you can keep them at range, but yeah, anything that catches up to them, they're pretty much doomed unless it's a other scout. A lab will win in 1 versus 1. A tank will of course win in 1 versus 1 if they get close. Okay, but this is what they're doing. They've got these units on defending duties. Want to keep those expanding engineers alive. Both guys thinking exactly the same thing. Not doing any raiding at the moment, although there's a small one in the middle. Perhaps just rocking out with a Mantis to confirm there's no engineers trying to do a cheeky quick reclaim, because this is where all the mass is. Half the mass to reclaim is in the middle here of the entire map. Really not a heck of a lot. This engineer being protected by these guys. So is this a assist chain? Looks like it is. Got the Mantis assist the engineer and the scout assist the Mantis. So they all move in this nice group. The engineer moves off first, the Mantis assists the Engie, and then the scout assists the Mantis. So it's a good little trick. And hello, speaking of scouts, one overhead here from Daps is going to land on the ground. This might be a terrible idea. Ooh, I saw the Mantis twitch. It twitched. Was that a target? No, target did not stay. And we have a bomber. One bomber over this way, and it has picked up this engineer down here. That is a good little pick there. It's going to die the expansion. Looking to hunt this engineer next by the appearance. It's moving in that direction. But even as that bomber is having a grand old time over that direction, misses that by the way, there has been a push over here by Kelly to try and deny this expansion, which is going to work. Maybe 2 Mantis and a Tham. Sorry, 2 Mantis versus a damaged Tham and a Selene, but the Selene is down. The Tham's not looking great. Small denial there from Daps being irritating, and of course denial over here. There's a Mantis was shooting the ground for deliberate fuck the ground reasons. But there we go, that's our first fuck the ground of the day. This Mantis was deliberately shooting the ground. Interceptor out from Mr. Kelly. Mrs. Kelly? I don't know, it was Kelly. But anyway, Kelly pops out an Inti. If that bomber flies overhead, it's going to have a bad time, which it does. Inti tags on and flies away. That might have been a move order. And the bomber survives. Is it going to go for the main base? Could be a couple of engineers can pick up there, but the Inti's circling back. Over this direction, the raid continues from Kelly, and these Mantis are now working on a mass extractor down here, being charged at by a large group of units from Def. So they'll kill that mass extractor most likely. Maybe. Have to keep an eye on that. And that bomber now 3 kills having gained all time, and the mass extractor does go down. Mantis then tried to run away, but it's a little bit too late. They are surrounded by tanks. They are dead, and this engineer can actually just come back and rebuild those. So no major drama. In the middle though, it is commander on commander action. See, Daps is trying to build a point defense. Not going so well when there's a commander shooting at you, but it does complete, and now the repair order is given. It's not going to survive long enough to make much of a difference. So there we go, it has gone down, and now Daps has decided to rebuild or reclaim and run away. Apparently rebuild is the idea, and Kelly is just continuing with the commander. Maybe the retention is elsewhere, because standing still like that is not usually what commanders do. But there we go. Turns around, starts shooting at the PD, but maybe they should have completed that. Although having said that, Daps is about to get some extra pressure. No. Now it's just 1 versus 1. This feels like the This looks like a noob fight. 2 commanders standing toe-to-toe, neither of them moving, just trading shots. 1400 and doesn't know to build the walls first. That is right. I actually have that as my template, and people ask me why. It's something I figured out. I build the walls, and then when things, because the walls got really quickly, and then when things are trying to shoot at the gun, they hit the walls instead, and it has time to build. Anyway, the army has swooped in here from Daps, joining the middle section, and that is forcing Kelly to move away. Kelly wants to start thinking about shooting units instead of commanders. They can take those down, it will be much healthier for them. There we go, that's looking better. Zap's still on the chase, 5,500 health, very similar to Kelly. Kelly, who's cleaning off more units, got some Mantis up behind them as well. Using that commander pretty well though, down under 5,000. Daph's been on a bit of a regen, but Daphs needs to think about maybe not pushing without this support. Speaking of pushing though, there's this coming back here into the main base of Kelly. A few Thams are ready to rock on in, but of course this is the main base, so there's reinforcements rocking out all the time. And these Thams, while they might be able to get something done, they're going to be interrupted by Mantis over and over again. But the big battle is going on just down here. Daps is down to 4,000 health, so is Kelly. But Kelly has the problem of extra unit damage happening on the comm, and they're shooting the opposing commander instead of the units down to the red. Not looking too good there. Kelly may have not bailed out in time, although Mantis have run down to the rescue. A rank of veneracy will go absolutely wonderful right now as far as health goes, but it should be fine from here on out. Able to move away and not stay. Daps wasn't really able to push that advantage if they were down to 2,500 health as well. Then when one commander goes, the other one goes, and it's a lovely, lovely draw. But nonetheless, both commanders are very hurt, probably can't be used in combat much anymore. Hearing more fighting, there we go, some Mantis are chasing a Tham. Tham doesn't get far. Selene rocks on through. Maybe it can do something down this direction, or maybe it can just pop itself invisible. Nope. Just going to sit there, wait for the Mantis to catch up and die a horrible death. No. The Mantis have redirected. It's going to stay there and maybe pick up an engineer kill. There we go. Going to do exactly that. Get an engineer kill over this direction. And hello. Quickly back to the front. I hear command fire, and that is Daphs moving up again, wanting to try and hold some of this reclaim. But too much in the way to really contend with. T1 PD going up for Kelly there as well. That Selene still rocking around. Didn't finish off the engineer. Or did it? It's got no kills. It didn't. It should have. But it didn't. And runs straight into the back of some Mantis. That's not healthy for it. And there we go. Now Daphs can move on up. We have some Thams in play. Can grab a bunch of this reclaim. Have a look at the commander hoovering up instead of shooting. Very useful to have that mass going into the coffers. So speaking of eco and production though, let's have a look at what we can see on the map. Mostly red, owing to Daps having the middle section, but I think we'll find that Kelly has more build power going. Checking out the Daps, what we got? We have, I can't see the number, 18 T1 mass extractors. Back down to the middle we go, because it is once again an army with commanders fight. Again, both these guys still very, very low. It wouldn't take much for them both to dip into the red and for there to be a mutual draw at this stage, because Kelly gets a rank in veterancy though. That gets them back up. Nice chunk of extra health there and some extra regen. Closer to 5,000 health, whilst Daps is still well down at 2,500. No rank of veterancy yet, but not too far off it, although actually we've got a wee ways to go. Plenty of unison support, but we want to go back to the whole checking the mass extractors. Any T2 in the base? No. Now what was it? 18? Yes, 18 mass extractors for Kelly. And we have 18 for Daps, 16 for Kelly, but Kelly also has a pair of T2 mass extractors. And if we check out the factory count, we have 9 factories popping out units for Kelly, and compare that to the, looks like a lot fewer. No, 9. Rather, 2 haven't yet been built.
Commander under attack.
So yes, Daps is behind on unit production. Doing well on the reclaim side of thing. Trying to scoop up this major army here. Has units as backup. Still hasn't got that rank of veterancy just yet. Though still well into the red though. Now is much, much closer to that. T1 PD was put down. There we go. It's going to help shoo away these kinds of things. But some Zuis turn up. They're going to do some extra damage to that. And it's not going to survive. Boom. Final Zui shells land on down. And T1 PD is no more. Makes it unfortunately a wasted investment. Air comes up over here. It looks like to be defensive just in case I missed that. But Daps with T2 on the ground. That's an Ilshiva. And Ilshiva is going to be nice and nasty. Do we have any tech for Kelly? No, we don't. It's all just T1. But Ilshivas are going to be a problem that Kelly just can't quite contend with. Daps very close to their rank of veterancy. And now they're going to grab this reclaim as much as possible. Probably wants to kill a few more units. But hey, your commander is a very tough engineer that can slow command a good area. I guess that's why it's called a commander, but without shooting units you don't get that rank of veterancy. Neither of these guys are upgraded either, so they just haven't had time. Kelly's looking much healthier though due to the other rank of veterancy they got. They have had so nice chunky amount of regen. And you can see the Ilshiva, 3 kills to its name, probably lots of damage, supported by all these units. And what does Kelly have on the ground? Not a heck of a lot. Daps once again moving in for the reclaim. Not even bothering to try. Still has to be careful though. 2,500 health, not a lot going on. And now we have a sweep coming in from the north. This is unit surprise from Kelly. Daps doesn't have much on the ground to repel that behind the commander. And they could get pincered here. These Ilshivas are probably going to be invaluable at this point in time. But Kelly kills off another couple of units, or even 1 unit. There we go, rank of veterancy. 4,000 health, now they're looking okay. Ilshiva's back over this direction trying to do what they can. Nice and tough, they've got good range, good movement. Should be alright. There we go, some defending units for Daps as well, so they can now consider leaving this middle section. Gun upgrade on the way for Kelly. Kelly wants to keep their commander in use, and well, T2 is a good response. Sorry, Guncom is a reasonable response to Ilshiva's, though to get some extra range, you can just overcharge and pick them off one by one. Do we have a T2 shift? Yes, we do. These factories have been paused, and this factory is going for Tech 2. Right, I can hear the Ilshivas, and they are cleaning up. That was an Ilshiva, that was a Tham. You can see what they do to T1 units, so they have great range, great rate of fire, good movement, and a decent pool of health. They are, in many opinions, the best T2 units for in the game. They're very strong. But that raid has still killed off Mass. In fact, there's been another raid over this way, so Kelly has not been idle. With the units, they've killed off 2 expansions, and a third one could be under threat here. Being defended by a single T1 PD, but there is a bit of a hill, so if they come up there, you could see a nice round and fuck the ground. From that particular point of fence. Down here, the upgrade is almost done for Kelly. Well into the green now, thanks to the regen. 8,500 health, looking nice and chunky, nice and healthy, and about to have a gun upgrade. Whereas Daps, 5,500 health, no gun upgrade. wants none of this right now. They need to stay well away from that commander. Very close to an upgrade. Units in here as well. Nice overcharge. Actually, not such nice overcharge. Manages to kill one unit with it and has a bit of a fuck the ground moment shooting the hill. Not great for your health. In comes Kelly. If Kelly gets in range of this guy, he's going to have a bad time, but the supporting cast in the form of T2 units is coming in for Daps. Lots of Vilshivers, and Kelly rethinks their consideration of moving in on this wisely. Here we go. There's the... not even going to get it. There we go. Now we have a rousing round. Fuck the ground. T1 PD shooting the ground for all it's worth. The Mantis crest the hill though and turn into targets instead of things that are blocked. And if it wasn't for the T1 RT down here lobbing their shells over, it would last a lot longer, but this section is done for. It is doomed, it is destroyed, and you can see it's been a wee bit much for Daps to handle at the moment. Surviving on reclaim, I feel. Still, Daps has this massive army, could do a counter push up this direction, could wipe that out. Plenty of Zuis, plenty of Ilshivers. How's that T2 going for... They're going pretty good. Rhinos are coming off the wheel. We've got the concerns about the base, so we're seeing some Cerberus turrets being thrown up there as defensive measures. Yeah, okay, fair enough, I guess. But Daps out front, no army in support, and there we go. That's the cutoff going for mentions. Moving up to clear out this production section, which is the right one because there are 5 T1 factories along here. If they just simply rush on in, the engineers are not going to survive, the point defense is not going to complete, and everything's going to die. There's another point defense here though. It won't last too much longer in the face of Zuis and Ilshivers. It will get taken down. Look at that. Zui fire just raining down upon T1 PD. Goes absolutely nowhere, and this section is basically doomed. But speaking of things that are doomed, no, not quite. This push was coming in towards the main base of Daps. But taking away some more T2 Ilshivers on the ground have rejected that idea, and Kelly has to rethink what they're going to do next. Massive rousing round to fuck the ground because those interceptors landed, but that's alright. This section is destroyed. Zuis all around. The factory is going to go on down. There's a wall of Ilshivers out front slowing that, but along comes Kelly. Guncom, nice and healthy, overcharge capable. Maybe? Yes. Can overcharge all this, and this section is done. Victory's doomed. It now is just a bunch of reclaim waiting to be scooped. Most likely to be scooped by Kelly, who has an engineer up here already, looking to maybe try and grab a position here, looking to pick up the mixers, looking to pick up the mass, but it's not going to work because Daps is very not happy with that idea. Daps doesn't have radar though. Got one radar back here. So no idea, there's actually a swarm of units sitting here waiting to say hello. Shouldn't matter too much because it's Ilshivers, and they will just basically eat these things all day, every day, in mass numbers. There we go. Position held, time to send some engineers over. Time to get a radar. And speaking of needing radar, these units are just going to slowly, absolutely slowly be picked apart by a commander here. And that's not what you want to happen. You want to try and get some kind of action going on, but Rhino supporting that com, so that means Kelly should be alright, especially with some overcharges. But the Ilshivers are going to be a danger to think about. Some of the Zui shots land on down, big chunks of HP pop out for those. But you see Daps decided the gun upgrade here. They've decided that, oh, Kelly's got it. I should probably get it. And that's a bold place to start at middle of the map. Half dead. Nothing doing on that front. And again, another raiding force coming through here from Kelly, looking to keep this expansion from being recreated. And a cheeky factory back here has gone to T2 and is starting putting out some rhinos. Does Daps have any idea? No, Daps doesn't. Daps still doesn't have enough radar covering this map. Has got no idea. There's a factory there. Has got no idea what is in that area. Well, there's not much in that area actually. There's virtually nothing. But this here is something they cannot afford to leave alive. Rhinos are queuing up. The more rhinos you get, the harder they are to kill. We'll check the DPS on those actually. So for an Ilshiver, we have a grand old DPS of 105. A Rhino, DPS of 89. So more range, more health, more DPS. Very tough T2 unit. Alright, how's that gun upgrade going down for depths? Well, it is 75% done and doesn't look like it's going to get interrupted anytime soon. Another factory going T2. So Kelly very much into the T2 stage, wants to get these up and running and start having rhinos all over the place, because these Ilshivers have really just been cleaning up all of the T1 very, very handily. And look, this band of units, no radar, one single radar all the way back here. So this is a big surprise to Daps. Units cutting in here from Kelly. And, well, they're going to run into some Ilshivers and they're going to die, but they're only T1. But it's the T2 down this direction that has swooped in here yet again to clear out this expansion, kill off the engineers, kill off the mass extractors. That's got to be irritating. Counter push coming over this way. We can see these units moving in on this section here. There were some Zoes, and they have lobbed their shells in towards the T1 PD, but it is the T1 PD and the Ilshivers that are having fun there. Rhino being a distracting target because T1 PD is higher DPS than Rhino. But they don't last long in the face of Ilshivers and Zoes, and it's kind of like a tit-for-tat. This expansion gets cleared up by Kelly, this expansion gets cleared up by Daps. Maybe they can take over from each other, who knows. Rocket bots coming out. Interesting choice. Rocket bots have a decent range to them. Range. Range 37, but I don't think... Oh, maybe they do. Range 26. Yep, so they do outrange Ilshivers as long as they can keep a distance. They can keep plinking them and doing some damage as they like. What's going on elsewhere? Here we go. T2 units and a strategic withdrawal from Daps is looking to try and pull these T2 units in towards the commander so the commander can do something about it, but lacking that thing called radar. Is that a radar? That's a radar. Right. As soon as that radar is done, Daps is going to see all of this, and instantly the commander opens up. Being able to shoot further than you can see is a bit of a handicap, but with radar, it makes life much, much easier. Right there, and what's going on down here, we have a mad stream of units spearing on out towards this direction, is still unaware of this little wee factory there. Yep, no radar, no scouting. Although, they have seen that, and maybe that will trigger Daps to the idea that there's something there, and now a radar signature as well of a structure. Is Daps going to investigate? One would hope so. One would hope so. Yes. Kill that particular bit of ground. Kill that particular bit of ground, but good. Keep shooting at it. It's not going anywhere. But massive rousing round to fuck the ground there. I can only presume that's a misclick of some form. But yeah, there's nothing there. Stop shooting, boys. Down this direction, there's another bit of fracas going on. Some T2 armies matching up. Ilshivers are running out of numbers compared to the amount of rhinos and rocket bots that are coming on in. And they are having to fall back. Just too much for them to take on. We check back up this direction. There has been another fight going on. T2 up there. It is Kelly, who I saw starting a stealth upgrade, but that's not going to complete. And Daps needs to get the commander involved in this. Some overcharges would be ideal just like that. Although maybe if the unit's a bit more clumped up. Working on some of the rhinos, that's what they want to do. Get some of those down, can get... Did that overcharge not kill a rhino? Still, a rank of literacy is due any second now for Daps. Kill off another unit and you'll have it. Let's check what they've got. Not a lot of storage. Compared to very full storage. Very large amount of B. Alright, scouts over here for Kelly. They know exactly what they're walking into. And finally this factory has been destroyed. Certainly produced enough of a hassle. Certainly produced the stoneness kicking in. Yeah, you're not wrong. And let's check out what's going on here. And that is a T3 factory. So Kelly has broken into the T3 scene. Needs some more power though. 1.6k apparently is not enough, but I get it. You want to have the power before you lose it. Actually, there's another T2 PG over there. But T3 factories with loyalists. Nasty. Alright, this raiding party is heading up this way, and there hasn't been anything really put on the ground to slow them. T1 bomber comes out over here, going to try and do some extra work on there. Some Zoes are in the vicinity, going to lob their shells on over. And hopefully, there's rhinos in there. This is not going to survive. Not a thing of it. Mad upgrade going down on a T1 mass extractor. It's not going to survive either. Engineers get brutalized. A couple of point defense trying to do their best and not doing so bad. Working out some wicked damage onto those rhinos. And they just retarget. They went to retarget. But some Zooey fire is dropping on over, and Daps needs to bring those units up. Just lost a T2 mass extractor there. And going to lose another one over here. Not what you want to happen at this particular point in time. Kelly does good work. Commander turns up, but still those mass extractors are gone. The engineers are gone. Good little run by of that. Right, checking out the other side of things. And is this a bunch of no fuel inties? Nope, they're moving okay. Take that back. Has managed to rebuild this expansion. Engineers have had a wonderful time doing that. Got some reclaim back here to grab. A bunch of T2 factory. All can go into the coffers for a T3 upgrade. Yes, indeed. There we go. T3 upgrade is on the way for Daps. Needs to get into that game on the ground because their opponent already is. Are they aware of this fact? Ooh, they are not. Hasn't been scouted for quite some time. They've got no idea. This is a T3 factory. If we have a look at the signatures and see what's actually there, there's a lot more T1 PGs. There's a couple of T2 PGs. The mass extractors are upgraded. This is T3 factory starting to pop out bricks. T3 PG going down. T2 radar. What's the range on that T2 radar? Well, that's pretty good. Pretty decent amount of coverage means that Kelly can see incursions like this coming along. They can use their command to do nasty things. We check out the radar coverage for Daps. Well, they do have a T1 radar there. Making that T2 would be quite useful and have a lot of coverage to see everything else. As far as the ground game goes, here we go. Another push coming on in here, and this time the loyalists are spearheading it, and really that's just not even nice. That's just not even fair. These things are just going to, well, destruction, doom. Not a lot that engineers can do against loyalists. But even as they're pushing out there, we see there's a big push coming down this way, and it is Daps with their commander, but also is Kelly with their commander. And now there's a lot of T1 PD there. Some overcharges would go miss. Manually overcharging these would do all for one, just like that. Ideal shot going on there that whips those T1 point defense out of existence, and now Daps with a huge army needs to be careful of this up here. Maybe wants to get the commander on that whilst running this way. But some more loyalists have come up here. They're going to help seize this army. Daps looks like they're going for a cut-off. Maybe they were trying to get ahead of the commander and do some extra damage, but the loyalists are going to make a field day out of that course. When loyalists die, they also have an EMP blast, and shutting down units is just not very useful when you're trying to chase a commander down. But Ricks are moving out as well. And where is Dapscom? Dapscom's right there. Should be able to get some overcharges on those. Have they got enough energy storage to do any kind of decent damage though? Half health. Not awful, but not great. Maybe let's consider getting a bit more than that. Okay. Still trying to chase down Kelly, who's now 4 ranks of veterancy. That army has not worked, and Daps is looking to be a bit peaky. Needs to think about moving away. We get some overcharges. There's an Ilsheva stuck here on the hill, doing really great work at shooting the ground. Let's stay there for a while till it dies, like these loyalists of bricks. And where is... okay, there's Dapscom. Not looking too healthy. Compare that to Kelly, who's absolutely fine. Single Tham back here, just tickling away at a T2 mass extractor. It's going to win, as long as nothing comes that interrupts it like a commander. Never mind. Damn dead. Lucia definitely stuck on the wall there. That's fine. Rhino trying to sneak on past, not going to get much done on that front. We see Daps moving on up, throwing an overcharge onto a loyalist. Wanting to get out of the way. Brick turns up though. Going to start tinking away at Daps' health. Overcharge goes back, not even half damage. Only a couple of thousand. And Daps needs to be kind of careful here. That brick has not an insignificant amount of DPS. And why is there no... there's the shooting. Now I think the brick... No, not going to win that fight, not with the overcharges. But Daps was down into the red for a moment, I think. Yes, they just got a rank. No. Yes, no, maybe. Yes, rank of veterancy. Back up to a bit, some extra health there. But over this section, bricks ahoy. A whole 5 of them, and they are just going to wipe the floor with these poor little engineers. Got nothing they can do about that. There are some siege tanks. There we go. Othams have been spotted. Get them out and moving, and they can assist with that. But 2 Othams is not going to stand up to 5 bricks, not by any stretch of the imagination. That is definitely moving up with their commander wanting to keep in the battle. This direction we see another mulching of that section, or at least a denial by these rhinos, and they're just going to clean up these engineers as well. There's not a small band. What is he? 4, 8, 12. 12 or 13 rhinos and a couple of rocket boss. In comes a siege tank though. It's not going to last long against that kind of force. It might be T3, but when you're facing off against 16 enemy units, you're just not going to have a very good time at all. And there's not a heck of a lot on the ground to stop them. Some Ilshivas are trying to do their thing, but that's a sizable force to contend with up this direction. And this force as well has basically bypassed all of that, ignored it. Moving on up and killing off the siege tank at range. Othams need to get close to be able to deal their damage, and at the moment they're just not getting the chance because the bricks are outranging them. And look at that. Before it even gets a single shot at the bricks, it dies. It popped up a couple of rounds at the rhino, but that's just simply not enough. Back in this direction, and these rhinos here, they're having a whale of a time, still buzzing around, still doing their damage. But this is a big old problem with Daps. Bricks cleaning up this section of the map, and Commander is moving in. Does he have enough in the form of overcharge? Not so much, still a wee bit low, and it's going to take a very long time to do damage to these bricks, and in response they can do a ton of damage to the Commander. That is dangerous. Quite dangerous. Definitely need to be overcharged, but watch the health just fade off Daps's comm whenever those bricks focus down. Look at that. Massive amounts of damage down to the yellow, 6,000 health, although the bricks do turn their attention to these units down here, thankfully. For Daps, that was necessary because that commander gets herself another rank of veterancy. Now at max veterancy ranks, there's going to be no more health boosts, but that is going to keep him alive. Look at this. Was 10,000 a moment ago. Already down to 5,000, and that was just from a brick and a rhino. 3,000. It just seems incredulous. Sorry. Without overcharge, commanders lose a 1 versus 1 with T3, basically. No overcharge, no win, but having a look. More bricks on the ground for Kelly, and they are motoring around everywhere. Daps just simply does not have enough to try and stop them. Or is that the GG, he thinks? And, gonna be honest, he's not too wrong. Territory is owned by Kelly. Eco is owned by Kelly. Tech, way more T3 on the ground. Kelly says, but I cannot win. I'm presuming they're not talking about this particular game because they have absolutely won this. Daps is throwing out the GG, trying to reassure Kelly, hey, you're a good player. I mean, evidence is quite there that Kelly has absolutely bossed. Absolutely bossed this game. There's only a handful of siege tanks and they're all down here against some T2. There's a storm of T3 bricks pushing up the middle. And that's going to be the end of Daps' main base once those things get in range. Nothing you can do about that. Absolutely nothing. Gonna be a... Nope, I thought there might be some fuck to the ground. Oh, there is some fuck to the grounds there as the bricks get close to the edge, but enough shots are going over the top. And which one is the HQ? There it is. Still trying to produce Othams, but trying to do it on very low ego. 35 income compared to 140. 4 times the mass income that he has over Daps. The raiding, the pushing, the prodding, and just everything that was going on. And up this direction we should see Daps starting to have some issues. Some loyalists are saying hello. Focusing on reclaiming a corpse because, why not? Down is the red. I think that is going to be the end of Death's, but that was a very, very well played game by Kelly.